Sabine and Michael, thank you very much for coming over to visit us before the premiere of your movie, Jagdzeit. I'm very excited to see it. I have seen the previews. Please, can you share a little bit about it? How did the idea come up to produce a movie addressing manager suicide?
Yeah, the idea was, we developed the idea together. It was triggered by some news article about these manager suicides that happened several times in a short lapse of time, and we thought that's really something that we should do. So it was a difficult task, because you can imagine when there are people around that suffer from a loss. So you have to make real good decisions how to tackle this project, but it was very exciting. But at the same time, I can tell you, it was for us really a tough call, because you live through their lives and through this downfall these people experience and through all this trouble. And when you develop such a script, you go through the whole story, you're within the character, so that really affects also your life, because you start thinking about the consequences for yourself. So all in all, it was really exciting to do this, but it was also very tough.
Sabine, for you as the director, all these stories that developed, and I'm sure you also had contact with potential or with managers with stories like that. How did it develop for you when you started with the movie and then during production?
To me, it was very important to do a deep research on this topic, and I spent so much time in offices of CFOs and CEOs, and I could watch their agenda, I could watch how they work, how they talk. I really wanted to know, like, to inhale this world in order to direct in a way which is believable. So to me, it was also, as Michael said, it was a tough time, but also very interesting, because I'm an artist. I have not so much to do with the business world so far. It was also very interesting, and I have a lot of respect for these people, because it's a lot of work. People who are working in business in these positions are working a lot.
And we also got to know that these are very lonely people, which you wouldn't say. You would say he's a CEO, he's everywhere, he got lots of friends. But in fact, what we realized is that these people have, through their position, are very lonely people. I mean, in matters of trust, who you really can trust, you can talk to openly, and that was really astonishing.
I would like to touch upon the topic of loneliness that you just mentioned. Usually we all see only the shiny part of these managers and CEOs, but as you mentioned, they are often extremely lonely. So did you meet people, and did they share openly their experience?
They did not share openly their experience. They let me know how they work, but we were not really able to talk about loneliness. You can feel it sometimes, but I think there are also different kind of types. It's not one type of manager who is always lonely. I think it depends on the character. But what I think, what is the biggest problem is that you are always in a position that you have to say or to pretend that you know where the way is going. I am the leader, I know where to go, follow me. And you always have to shine, you always have to be self-confident, you have to convince people. And I know that I'm a doubter, personally. I doubt a lot, and I don't know where they go with their doubts.
So while you were producing that movie, which kind of emotions did you use in order to make it really feel real and for people really to be touched? I mean, it's obviously a very emotional topic, and you deal with a lot of respect while filming it, but what was your tool set that you used in order to convey that message?
I mean, that's mostly Sabine's department. I can say in the phase when we made the movie, it was always a great challenge to how could the viewer of this movie be attached to a person that you know is going to fall. It's like Titanic, you know, the ship is going to sink in the end, but the movie you want to watch. So it was the same challenge. So you need some kind of attachment to the personality and somehow an understanding why doesn't he quit the job, you know? Because you say, this game's too tough for you, guy. Why don't you just leave? Why do you still want to watch what's going on? So that was the challenge. And the tool set how to do that, that's Sabine's department from the directing.
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot, we spent a lot of time with the production design. I mean, we were shooting in an empty office space, and we had to put the furniture, every furniture we had to decide, every table, every chair, every carpet, everything. And that was really amazing to decide how this company is looking like. So there was a big thing. And the other thing, we work a lot with sound design. When you watch the movie, you will see we tried like to get in the head of Alexander with music and sound design to create or to help to understand to the audience the stress, also the physical stress that he suffers.
And also there was this tunnel thing.
The tunnel,
you will realize within the movie that his view gets narrower and narrower, so he doesn't feel anymore what's going on beside. So that's also something. Yeah,
and we tried to tell that with the lensing. We use special lenses, anamorphic lenses, which treat the rooms a little bit differently than normal lenses, and it's like a little bit claustrophobic. What we are trying to explain, and this helps. It's really a tunnel. Yeah. A tunnel getting closer and closer and closer, and it doesn't see a way out.
And another important issue was also how do we get inside the head of this guy? You know, when you write a novel, you can always write, he thinks now this and that, but in the movie you have to show something. So we came up with the element of this Hagakure book, you know, about this samurai fighting art, and this allowed us to give statements in that you feel somehow now I know what he's thinking. So it was a nice way also to give an idea what's going on in the head of this guy. And this was also a very important element that helped somehow to understand what's going on.
So can you maybe a little bit describe him, who he is? You know him best.
Alexander Maier is 55 years old CFO, working for the same company since 20 years. He's very correct. He knows his numbers. He knows what is good for the company, but what is not good. He has a team. He is a good leader. He's a little bit in distance. He's not a toucher. He doesn't like to talk to touch people or to make jokes. He's really concentrated on the job. And he had a son. He has a son. A son is of 15 years, and the wife left half a year ago because they just had two different lives, and she decided to take a little bit more time for herself and maybe to fall in love with a man who offers her a little bit more time and love. So that's where we meet him, in this company, a hard-working person.
And it's like a kind of role model of the typical Swiss, you know, the exact worker, very correct, very could also be a kind of British, you know, it's a little dry person, but stick to the job. You want to be perfectionist.
And very loyal. It's a movie about loyalty. His character is very loyal to the company he works for, loyal to his team. He is a soldier of his company.
So what is then the message of the movie? What would you like to share with the audience?
I would like to share that we should take a little bit more time for each other. I would like to tell to the people who are still here. We do not commit suicide, we are still here. That we should listen a bit more and we should take care of each other. Maybe sometimes take some time out, just watch a problem, try to watch a problem and to be not in the problem. I think it's like putting something which is really difficult on a table, walking around, watching it and say, okay, this is my problem, but not to take it inside and to think I exist only I am only this problem. So this is kind of, I think stress is a little bit like that you think it's the problem is me, it's in my head, and I'm just, there's nothing else than this thought.
For me, the motivation was always, in business we try to pretend that this works without human factor. So everything is reduced. Don't be emotional, make your decisions, blah, 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 blah. And we now have a situation that around 30% of people are afraid to lose their job or are potentially into a burnout. And this starts somewhere. And what we did is showing where the thing starts, you know. And from there, from the top management, everything goes down. So, in my point of view, I really hope that a lot of CEOs and stockholders really watch that movie and really check out, do we in our company treat the people the right way? Because in the end, this always comes with a price tag. It costs life, it costs money, and if we start really taking this human resource management, work-life balance seriously, this will also be a benefit for the whole society.
Absolutely. I think your movie will largely contribute to destigmatizing the topic of mental health, and I really thank you for shooting that movie. I'm very excited about the movie, which I will obviously watch, and also about the feedback and the resonance that you get from the public. Thank you very much.
Thank you
so
very
much for inviting us.
Thank you.